What is up, guys and gals out there? Thanks for joining me here on my channel again. Stephen Sturgill. I'll be your host for the next few minutes anyway, hopefully. Today, guys, we're looking at a really fine new, I don't know if you'd call it a brand new release or a subtly disguised re-release or a slightly reformulated release. But however you want to call it, we are looking at Tom Ford's Ombre Leather Eau de Parfum. And the reason I had that little preamble, because as many of you, most of you know, 2016 saw the release of Ombre Leather 16, which is almost an identical, at least note-wise. I haven't smelled 16, so I cannot claim how similar or dissimilar these two frags are. But the note list is almost identical. The only two exceptions that I could find of differences in note breakdown is that the new one, Ombre Leather, does not have violet leaf in the top notes. It just has cardamom listed. And then also in the base, I believe, I'm trying to remember now, amber. Let's see, amber is either in this one or in the 16, but not the other way around. Anyways, one of them has amber, one of them does not. I'll check on that in a second. And then this says moss, and the 16 says oak moss. I'm not sure if that's a legitimate concern or difference or not. It may not be, or it may be somewhat different. I don't know. At any rate, let's get down to it. The nose on this, this is the other curious part. The nose of the original Ombre Leather, which dropped in 2016, is given, but the nose on the relaunch, or whatever you want to call it, is not given, which leads me to believe that it's either the same nose from 2016, or they simply hired a lab and just said, do a little of this, do a little of that, and we'll relaunch it. I don't know, something like that at any rate. Okay, yeah. So the amber is in the new Ombre Leather. It is not, to my knowledge, in the 2016 formulation of Ombre Leather. Turn it back up, and my web browser is acting funny. I'm gonna stop that. Very weird. If I can find it now. Almost there, bear with me. And I must say, I'm not real keen on the new bottle. While I am happy that the price point has come down just a bit for his new mass-friendly release of Ombre Leather, I would have preferred that they just relaunch Ombre Leather, or call it something similar like Ombre Leather 18 maybe, but kept that same classic bottle. So I kind of feel like Tom is moving slightly in a wonky direction with a mass appeal bottle, but he's done it before, whatever. Maybe it's nothing new. I'm probably making much ado about nothing. Anyways, the original nose, assuming that she's also the primary nose on the new relaunch or flanker model, however you want to call it, was Sonia Constant. And I believe she's pretty well known throughout France and other areas, and has done quite a bit of stuff. She's done some Antonio Banderas, Alexander McQueen, Luminous Orchid. That's a very, very beautiful bottle. Hippie Floor, Agatha Ruiz de la Prada. A very, very playful, sort of a blue cloud flower type bottle, something like that. Benetton, she did United Dreams Live Free. Beautiful bottle. Quite a bit of Burberry. Some Carner Barcelona, including Queers, which means leather. And Rima 11. I don't know what that stands for or what that means. Also 1881 Essential by Cerruti. Coach, the fragrance eau de toilette, the pink juice, females only, technically. Crazy libellule, crazy libellule, and the poppies. Low factive 122, 127, 129. Very, very artistic bottles. I hope those smell at least halfway as good as they look. Desigual, fresh, pretty cute minimalist presentation. Golden Boy from Duetto. I know Duetto's kind of blown up recently in the frag community, or it has been for a while actually, but I mean it's sort of regaining some traction and some of the online vlogs. Some Ella K parfums. Melody Altai, Poema de Sagano, Pluie sur Halong, Lettre de Pushkar, Brooms de Kausok, Beiser de Florence. She did James Bond 007, also 07 for women, some Escada, Utopie, number 9, number 3, some Fragonard, including Cologne Grand Luxe, very elegant, dropped in 06. Les Naturels Cèdre, which was a unisex, dropped in 2010. A couple of females, some Guerlain, Iceberg Cedar, Eau de Iceberg, some Jill Sander, Juliana Paes, some Kenzo, Lacoste, Lanvin, Lancaster, Les Liquides Imaginaires, Dom Rosa, Forti, Sancti, and Fleuve Tendre. Low, Un balcón sobre el paseo del Prado, and Tras la tormenta en el jardín botánico. Also some Louis Freron, Soleil de Jade, and Mango, House of Mango, Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen. Some Mont Blanc, she did Emblem, Emblem Intense, and also finally Lady Emblem Low. Narciso Rodriguez for him, Bleu, and Musk for her, Narciso Rouge, Rose Musk, and Santal Musk, which I've heard is quite good, but some Natura. Anyways, this is a tremendous. I'm going to stop here, guys. I'm already burning bridges. She's done a lot of stuff. Oh, including the DuPont Oud et Santal, or Oud et Santal from ST DuPont. I've been wanting to get my nose in there, but I can't find any left. And from Salvatore Ferragamo, she did Viola Essencial and Encanto, Lovely Flower. Some Shakira. Okay, I'm going on. Enough. Stop. That's it. Okay. Back to the notes. So, wrong page. You are getting an ombre leather. Again, cardamom in the top, then jasmine, sambac, and leather in the mids, and finally patchouli, amber, and moss. And again, I don't know if that's really oak moss or just moss. Is there a difference? I don't know. This was my scent of the day. I got pretty excellent projection, longevity, and decent sillage. I would definitely not quite call it a monster frag, although the opening can be near beast mode, especially if you go heavy. Use a little bit of caution. Whew. Now there's almost like an aldehydic blast. Along with that cardamom as it opens. It's a little bit peppery, but not overly so. But that opening is quite animalic, a little bit funky, but at the same time quite refined. And definitely has somewhere between a really high dollar handbag, leather bag, purse, however you want to call it. So when you open them up, guys, and gals will really know what I'm talking about more than guys, but come on, a lot of you have girlfriends and wives. If you smell sort of that untreated raw or semi-raw leather on the inside, and on some belts, this has a lot of that going on in the aroma. So it's kind of that cured, some glossy leather aspect to it, but also a very much some almost raw Naugahyde type leather, saddlebag leather smell to it. And you very much also get the patchouli and amber and moss coming up, creating a little bit of a funky, dry green type essence or experience. As those notes sort of intermingle with the amber, almost creating a little bit of a funky honey note. Not funky in the sense of stinky, just not sweet and not as round or caramelish as a lot of honey notes are. So that amber playing with the patchouli and the moss and the jasmine sambac or jasmine. Jasmine imparting just a very, very light, subtle floral aspect to this, along with the greenery of that sort of oak moss or moss note, and just a little bit of that musky sweetness of the patchouli. Not overly sweet, but a little bit of that kind of thing going on with the patchouli. And it's rich, it's heady, it's a little bit caramelly, it's very leathery, obviously. And you almost get there's almost a hint of like a dry old vetiver in here. I'm not sure if that's just the interplay of the moss, patchouli, and the jasmine sambac, along with the cardamom and the leather, but there may be other notes in here they're not talking about. They almost never fully reveal all of their cards. Now, having said all this, it's an excellent scent. I think it's very much worthy and typical. It has that strong Tom Ford DNA. I do think it's bottle worthy, especially at this new price point. However, having said all that, it's not quite at the uber higher level of niche French fragrances in terms of the quality of the smell. Is not quite on par with what I would just broadly speak of at the $200 to $300 price point mark for most of the more better known French and United Arab Emirates, Dubai scents, and even some of the Italian stuff that's, getting up into the 180, 200, 220, 240, 280, 320. It's not quite at that level of realism or refinement. And also, for someone like Imaginary Authors, for you guys that like that kind of a niche house, this doesn't tell as much of a story in chapters. It pretty much gives you the whole enchilada right away, and from there it mainly just gets softer and softer and dries down, but it never really changes much of its character or its scent profile. This is not a story perfume that's going to like open this kind of way and then give you a mid this kind of way and then begin transitioning into this and then furthermore change down into a drastically different dry down, stressing different aspects and components of the fragrance. That's not a knock on Tom Ford or Ombre Leather. I'm just simply saying that for those of you expecting that, you're probably going to be somewhat disappointed to look elsewhere. This doesn't tell a story from beginning to end. It's very linear, and pretty much what I got from the opening is what I had by the 4th and 5th hour, if I could, and I'll leave it there at that. It's an excellent scent. It's a sexy scent. I did get a compliment on it from a very attractive lady today, and also from a coworker, and even my mom complimented me on it. So it's excellent. It is linear. Doesn't tell a whole lot of different chapters, if more than one, but it's very, very good for what it is, and especially so at this new price point. I do wish the bottle was a little better looking. I think it's very, very generic and very, very plain looking, but that's just my opinion. I'm not trying to offend anybody. But it's an excellent scent. So I'm going to leave it at that. If you like leather, definitely put your nose on this. Get you a decant sample. You know the drill. Or just buy a bottle. It's not that expensive compared to traditional Tom Fords. I'll leave it at that. It probably is a little bit more of a grown-up scent. I can't imagine too many guys or gals trying to rock this scent under the age of 24, 25. But I'm sure they're out there. I'm just saying there probably aren't a whole lot. But rock what you want to rock. Again, be a little bit careful if you're going to overspray. I would stay out of people's way for the first hour and let it kind of do its thing and dry down a little bit before you start offending or choking people out. It is near beast mode frag, not quite on the level of La Yucawam nor Tuscan Leather, but it's quite potent nonetheless. I'm going to leave it at that, guys. See you next time. Tune in. Remember, spray often, spray well, and Live life on your terms, not someone else's. And I will catch you next time, guys. Peace out. Love you. Couldn't do it without you. And I'll see you next time.